Hello and welcome to London Deco Podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to London Deco here on Podbean and Spotify. So today I really want to talk about something that's been released by TfL on the 22nd of May, well, earlier in the week in May, and this has affected TfL with its budget and with its financial crisis of running its London transport system. So here we are, contactless Oyster cards reinstated on more than 1,000 buses, which needs to happen immediately. Essentially, it needs to happen. So TfL has got into a bit of trouble a week and a half ago, and Sadiq Khan really needed Berlin out of help. So TfL and obviously the Mayor of London need to come up with a solution plan how to bring back the money and pay back the government and this way of this borrowing that they have to borrow. I think they borrowed 1.6 billion, or just to keep the transport network running. So that's the tubes, trains, buses, trams, DLRs, overground, you name it, the whole infrastructure of the mode of the transport system. So anyway, this Saturday, well, by the time I upload this, the day is probably gone now, but from Saturday the 23rd of May 2020, customers on 85 routes served by more than 1,200 of these buses will need to be touched in on a card reader by doors as they board. This is the first step to returning of all London buses to be able to accept payments once further safety measures had been introduced to protect bus drivers. The requirement to touch in will follow in on more routes over the next coming weeks, with announcements, signage in place on bus doors and to inform passengers of the requirement. Middle door boarding and suspension of the need to touch in were temporary measures to provide greater protection to bus drivers because card readers are typically located by the front door next to where the driver sits. TfL has since worked to return operation card readers located by the middle door of the new Routemasters, and has also introduced a wide range of safety measures, including working with its operators, suppliers, trade unions, implement changes to prospective screen around drivers. On the buses where there's changes apply, all protective screens have now had the openings where cash were previously accepted are now sealed off. In addition to the vinyl screen that was fitted a number of weeks ago to a closed communication holes, that's also been dealt with. This step will be taken across the network to further boost safety drivers, which once completed will enable customers to touch in again as normal as across the London entire bus network. So as from the 23rd of May 2020, which is today of me recording, we've already got at least 85 routes this Saturday. We'll be going back to normal operational of paying your Oyster card fare. So I won't do a list of all the bus routes, but I will put it in this podcast below in the brief description, and also to the first new Routemaster bus routes, which is based on the Routemasters, which can still tap in on the middle rear of the door. So just to literally just say to the other two routes that are in London, routes 507 and route 521, they will also return to be taken in contactless and Oyster card payments, but will continue using the middle door boarding. Middle door boarding is only boarding will operate into further notice. So ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned above, TfL has stated this. You can find this little blog, little thing on their TfL website. It was released on the 22nd of May. I'm just using it as the guidance, and you can just pretty much read it as well. So ladies and gentlemen, middle door boarding will cease soon, so don't think this is going to go on for a long time. It will cease eventually, and people will need to start boarding from the front door to pay your fare. I did do my vlog as well, so I'll put it in the description box below. Failing to not tap in on any buses, you are liable for penalty fare. Penalty fare is £80, but again it could go up. We don't know. Fares are set to be going up next year, so please expect that. I put out my vlog saying how it's going to affect you this time by next year. How are you going to travel to work, school, airports when airports are running again, or maybe if you're going to see your friends, or maybe going to the cinema later on this year once things are open and up and ready. So how is this going to affect us as bus drivers? Well, I'm a bus driver. I'm South London bus driver. I'm proud to be a bus driver. I say this, I feel that everything's too soon. But obviously that bus companies are working so hard round the clock, and TfL's working so hard round the clock. And a lot of us as bus drivers, we will have to press other tickets on the waiting machine in the previous 8 weeks now, and just to tell TfL how many passengers are boarding on the buses. Every time we do that, TfL are now realising that there's a lot more people boarding on buses. I'm going to be very careful here. Now, some media, TVs and radio stations like the BBC will say that buses or the government will say that the buses are not as packed or people are staying at home. No, they're not. They're not staying at home. Buses are overcrowded. People are not taking the social distance. Very importantly, they're just ignoring to the government guidelines and to stay at home and be protective and just take their guidance. And people are not wearing their PPE, not wearing facial masks. And I know that Sadiq Khan just put out a message out just last week in regards to tell retail stores to hurry up and get PPE into their stores and make sure they've got enough facial masks for every customer, because it's essential. You must have it. We don't know whether later on in the year the government could say to you, before you go into a cinema, before you walk into any places, you must walk in with a mask. You don't know, but if you can, please start getting your mask. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on eBay. I managed to get some bits from Amazon as well, but I had to wait for a month before mine came through. So that's my word of advice. Just to give a bit of shed of light out to everybody, obviously TfL has done a massive step up change, and I want to say thank you to my bus company and to my cleaners, to our cleaners, so not my cleaners, our cleaners at Abellio, that work enticingly so damn hard over the last couple of weeks. I just want to point out to everybody right now, I know this is going to be very, very small. I will do a vlog and I will do a podcast, and I will want to speak to TfL, and I would want to speak to the Mayor of London if I can. Passengers and those commuters need to stop littering on buses. Stop littering, stop loitering on buses, and stop drinking. Alcohol is not allowed. I told one passenger off yesterday saying, look, in a polite way, listen, please do not be drinking on buses, okay? And clearly he was not a key worker, but obviously you can't judge another person, but you got to tell them that this is the final bus stop, and you've got to tell them alcohol is not permitted on any transport, and it is strictly forbidden. So if you must, if you want to drink, please do not use the buses. Please do not use any of the TfL systems. It's strictly not allowed. That goes to the same to the private hires and to the London black cabs as well. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to put it as there, and whatever you're doing over the next coming few weeks, please make sure you are being safe, be protective, look after yourself, remember to wash your hands regularly, and to remember to use other modes of transport. Don't be reliant on the buses. Use bicycles, use the trains, use the trams, use other modes of you getting through to London, you getting to work and get to places A to B. But I know buses will be packed during rush hour, and try and avoid using buses and trams and trains and tubes during the rush hour peak times. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's me from reporting here on this podcast on London Decker Travel with Andre. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will speak to you guys very soon. So, see you later. Bye.